in the dream, I went viral as the old man that cried about AI. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. My name's Neil, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I do know what I'm trying to do. At least I think I do. Um, okay, so after last week's video, uh, there's been a number of things that have happened. First of all, I've had a couple of very weird dreams where in the dream, I went viral as the old man that cried about AI. As the old man that cried about AI, which kind of makes me laugh. I'm sure there's some sort of weird anxiety dream, but anyway, that happened from last week's video. And after last week's video, I had this good idea of the video that I was going to make today, and had filmed it. Um, there's footage on my computer, which was talking about the projects. I went through that weird roller coaster last week where I hit this weird existential crisis of faith in creativity in general because of AI. And then I watched Arcane, and that turned all of it around because I thought there was worth trying to make things of quality. And then over the course of this week, it's just been completely up and down on that front. Now, after last week's video, a few people got in touch with me, like personally, friends and stuff who'd seen the video and were questioning me about certain aspects of it. Plus, I'd had a conversation with a friend, quite a deep conversation about creativity and about AI and its place, and my own personal worth in the things that I make and myself. I might have even mentioned that in the video. I can't remember when that conversation was. And there are things that I want to address about that video, but I'm not going to do that today because there's actually quite a lot in that video to unpack about the way I actually feel about some of the things that I said and about some of the conclusions that I've come to since. So today's video was going to be about those projects, but actually I don't think it's going to be. Part of the early stages of this YouTube channel was to get used to making videos. I just want to check something quickly. Yeah, just checking the microphone. I've probably edited that bit out. So part of this YouTube channel was to get used to making videos on my road towards what I wanted the channel to be. But what I'm starting to realize is that what I want the channel to be is a lot more than I maybe originally thought that I wanted this channel to be. I'm certainly starting to see the benefits of being able to talk to this camera and be comfortable in doing that, whether people are watching the videos or not. But something weird that's happened over the course of this week is I watch YouTube across 3 different platforms. I watch YouTube on my computer, on my phone, and places like that where I'm logged in, and therefore it's very curated based on the things that I watch and the things that I save and all of that kind of stuff. I also watch it on the computer at work, and on the computer at work, I'm logged in with my work email account, and so it's a completely different feed to what this one is. And but I also watch it on my Xbox, but I'm not logged in. I can't save any videos. I can't like any videos. I can't comment. None of that kind of stuff. And the difference between those 3 feeds is very odd. I can see why the difference is there, but it's odd nonetheless. Now, one of the things that's happened this week is since watching the video that made me have the meltdown and then subsequently making my own video, it's funny how similar those 3 feeds can become without any similar searches. It highlights maybe the way that YouTube works. But regardless, after watching the videos that made me have the meltdown and make last week's video, having then watched that video back on my Xbox, when people had asked me questions about it, I watched my video back, but what I did was watched it back on my TV on my Xbox where I'm not logged in, which was also where I saw the original video. This should scare you, the AI one. My Xbox feed has been very interesting since watching those. It's been a combination of 2, maybe 3 things in general. Finding worth in life and its purpose. There's been a lot of videos about that. There's been a lot of videos of middle-aged men from all walks of life who are struggling with trying to find purpose and meaning. So I've watched a lot of those. And then there's been a lot of videos about AI and people's reactions to it and people's reactions to the reactions. One in particular is, and I'll find the video and I will link it here, is AI is ruining everything. And subsequently, another one was another YouTuber called Asmongold, who, like Penguin Zero, I know of, but don't follow or subscribe to anywhere. The reason I don't subscribe to Asmongold is because he knows his audience well, he knows the internet well, and he is a contrarian. He is And he is a great devil's advocate. He's clearly smart, he's very quick thinking, and he's able to articulate himself very well, much better than I can. That's not why I don't follow him, but the reason I don't follow him is because I'm undecided on how I feel about him. Yeah, but his content is good nonetheless. And he did a reaction video to AI is ruining everything. And oddly enough, his opinion is very much in line with mine about AI. In the AI is ruining everything video, which I will have linked below, the guy that made it makes very valid points about AI, but they are going to be outdated very quickly. And he goes on at the end to make a brief comment on don't use AI, get out there and make something. So Asmongold pointed out why would get somebody to get out there and make something when they can just make something? Because most people don't care about the process. Most people care about the end result. To be quite honest, myself included. I've said this many times. People that I work with know this. I am not a person that enjoys the process of getting to the end result that I'm trying to achieve, because I very rarely like the end result I'm trying to achieve, and I had to pull teeth to get there. As I pointed out in last week's video, creating anything is not a nice process for me. I don't get any sense of achievement out of it. I don't, again, I'm very grateful for my career, but I don't get any sense of achievement out of pulling teeth to get an end result I'm not that happy with. And I've been doing this for a very long time, and I'm still not happy with the end result, and I'm still not that great. Right. So I can, much like Asmongold points out, I can 100% understand why people would just turn to AI. One, it's just fun. They want to get a fun image. A friend of mine uses AI image generation to make little stories about this cool goblin character. He's obsessed with goblins, and he and they're good images, right? They're good images. And I said to him, you should write a story based on this little character. It's a cool little character. Even if he doesn't want to write the story, you should get ChatGPT to write a story about that character. For that reason, I think it's great. Somebody at work was having another discussion about the Suno website, and he was saying, a lot of people just use this and would never have got this music made in the first place, not because they don't want to pay creatives, but because it's not on their radar to want to try and make something enough to then go and hire a musician to make music for a thing they don't really want to make in the first place. But in this situation, they can just mess around with it and get an end result. I completely agree with that. But that's the lower end of the devastation that AI is going to wreak upon creative industries. As Asmongold pointed out, the writing is on the wall. You know, creative industries are on life support. But something that Asmongold didn't touch on in his video, and something I didn't touch on in my last video, and something that also isn't touched on in the video about AI is ruining the internet, is the fact that my belief is Asmongold does point out something that I do believe. No one cares how you made it. They just want the cool thing. They don't care how it was made. No one cares how the Avengers movie was made. A tiny handful of people, but the vast majority of people that went and saw the film didn't stop to think how the film was made. Most of people don't stop to think how hard it is to make computer games. All they want to do is moan about it when it's not good enough, even though it costs hundreds of millions of dollars to make. Cyberpunk, in its release state, as bad as it was, still cost hundreds of millions of dollars to get there, and a ridiculous amount of man hours. And it's still a miracle, even the state it was in, that it was done. Whether you had to pay $60 for it or not, it's still, no one cares about how you get there. They care about the end result. I truly believe that. But what that means is, which Asmongold points out, if you still want to make stuff by hand, you absolutely can. And there's a market for it. And people will still buy it from you. They don't care whether you made it by hand or not. They don't care if what you make by hand is better than what AI is offering them. If you've got two of the same product and you put them in front of somebody and they have to pay for it, they will buy the one they like the most. They don't care how it got there. They don't care what to, as Asmongold also points out, that is evident by the amount of people that still shop in Primark, the amount of people, all of the things still have mobile phones, even though we all know how they're made. All of those things that go on, people don't care. They don't. They care about the end result more than they care about how it got to the end result. And so my point about AI and creativity is, yes, corporate creative industries, corporate creative work is doomed. It really is. we've seen that going on for years. The introduction of things like Canva, the introduction of things like Squarespace decimated the graphic design landscape. The kinds of money that people was commanding before for graphic design, the kinds of money that people were commanding before for websites, totally gone, because there's an there's a product that to the general consumer's eye is equal. I remember my dad many years back making a calendar in like Windows Calendar or something like that. And as far as he was concerned, that was as good as any normal calendar. So he could have paid a graphic designer to make a calendar for him, or he made one that, as far as he was concerned, was equal to what a graphic designer could have done. So this has been coming for a very long time. That's the truth. That is the truth of the market. That is evident by comics. That is evident in games, movies, anything you want to point your finger at. It's like people care about the end result. And if the end results are equal, that causes more of a problem. But if at the end result there is a clear, I prefer this one to this one, then people were going to find the one that they prefer, whether it was made by AI or whether it was made by me. Therefore, the reason I think there's worth in me still creating things in whichever format I choose to go forward and make things is because I think I can make things that people will like more than what somebody else is offering, whether they made it with AI or whether they made it with by hand. I think I can create things that people will that enough people will find worth that I can continue with a career where I am creating things, no matter who's doing what with AI and how quickly and easily they're doing it. That's what I think. And because of that, because I think I can create something that enough people will see worth in, then that means I can carry on creating forever, no matter what AI does. Because there will still be people out there, even if they can get on ChatGPT and get them to make something. Because as I pointed out in the last video, and as I want to clarify here, AI quality AI content creation is about the curation of what you're getting AI to make. Now, yes, many people can see a picture of a dog with 9 legs and not notice that the dog's got 9 legs and think it's great. That's very true. But getting genuine good quality, but then that's stuff that's just free to look at on Facebook, right? But getting genuinely good quality where you are asking people to give you money for the product that you're supplying, then when for people to give you that money, those people have to be able to look at the product and find real quality in it. Yes, AI means there will be a sea of people able to do it, but there will still be people always that are willing to pay, whether it's being made by AI or not, are willing to pay to get the content. Because even if you can just ask ChatGPT to do a thing for you, you can. That's still more effort than just paying somebody else a couple of pounds and getting a fully fleshed out product. Because if you wanted to get, if I was to do a month's work on a product, let's say an RPG something I was going to cover in today's video, but that will be for another video. If you wanted to create the same amount of content from that was in an RPG with the same quality, imagery, everything out of AI, that would still take you a considerable amount of time. You might not be able to do it ever if you didn't use AI, but it's still not as simple as just asking ChatGPT to make the thing. Not right now, at least. I don't think ever, because I still think it's about curation. Something I mentioned in the last video briefly was if you have not been through what it takes to understand what makes for better content, no matter how much content AI throws your way, you still, if you haven't learned the process, won't understand what it takes to make genuinely good content. You'll just think this is better than what I can do, therefore it's good. That's not the way it works. It's just not. It's better than what you can do, yes, but it doesn't make it good. And I think a lot of people can spot that, even if they don't understand why they don't think it's as good. We're seeing that with Marvel. People might not understand why Marvel movies aren't as good, and they might need YouTubers to tell them why Marvel movies aren't as good, but they can still see it, right? Because for all of the people that don't watch YouTubers that tear apart Marvel, the view figures are still declining, and not everybody is watching those videos compared to the amounts of view figures. And so I do believe that if you are making content that is of quality, no matter how good AI gets, there will always be people that are willing to pay for good quality content, however it was made. And getting good quality content out of AI means curating it in a way where you understand what makes one idea from AI better than another, what makes one image more original than another, no matter how shiny it is. And so over the course of this week, I've seen a lot of this kind of content coming up on my feed. And I've been watching it because I'm really trying to get to grips with what I think. But I do believe that it's still worth me creating things. I just don't know how I'm going to go about it at this point. But that's the path I'm trying to navigate. How am I going to go about making this stuff? I don't know. I don't know. But then, as I say, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know what I'm trying to do. And that's the same in every area. Now, another point I just touched on is the amount of videos that are now popping up on my feed about trying to find purpose in life from all types of people on all walks of life, not just middle-aged men, but every age group. I've seen videos with 17 and 18-year-olds just in tears in their car because they just don't see the point of existing. All the way through, and not just males and females, and all the way through every age group, there are people who are struggling in the same way that I am. Now, this isn't going to be a YouTube channel about that stuff. That's not what it's going to be. It's going to be about me navigating my way forward in all of those areas, because I think the difference from what I can see on YouTube is I spend a lot of time thinking about this stuff and researching this stuff as I try to find my own way forward. And I see some very common comments, outlooks, where I think these people aren't necessarily taking the time to look at the problem from a variety of angles. We all get wrapped up in our own worlds. And if you don't take the time to look further afield, it's very easy to get caught in some kind of catch-22 where you just go round and round in the same circle. And so I think that part of the channel was always meant to be me addressing that in myself, because clearly I think it could help others. Now, since last week's video, I have continued with my every other day streak at the gym. I can have a day of rest basically, but the day after I have to go back to gym, and I have continued that. And that's also a journey that I would like to document. I am probably going to, not body shame, that's not the right word. I am going to, at some point very soon, point out the physical situation that I'm in. I'll talk about the ailments that I'm getting, which none of which are bad. They are all a byproduct of getting old and not taking care of myself properly. And I would also like to document the process and the progress as I try and turn my diet around, exercise more, exercise with a bit more focus and a bit more insight rather than just go to the gym and get on with doing some things. And so I'm going to document that stuff. And so while this video today was meant to be about, as I said, it was meant to be about my projects, given some of the other stuff that I've seen, this doesn't feel like the right time to be doing that. And also the last video about my projects ended up being it ended up being a long video where it shouldn't have been. I should have just touched on it, because as my projects move forward, in all reality, I should just there are so many projects that to me have so much worth that I'm doing that I struggle to figure out which one I'm supposed to be doing. But the point there being is, I think each of those projects are worth a short video in their own right. But instead, like I've talked about previously, I tried to make a video where I covered all of the projects. And then that just ends up being this really long video. And this one might be as well. But I don't mind making a video where I just talk to the camera about my life and what has gone on for me that week, and then the video being long. But I don't, which highlights an odd point that my friend pointed out about how little worth I see in the things that I make. Because I don't think it's worth spending 30 minutes talking about just the work that I'm trying to work on, or the projects that I'm trying to work on. Not in one hit, because I don't expect anybody to sit there and listen to me ramble on about the things that I'm trying to do. But I do expect people to sit and listen to me ramble on about this kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I think about it all. Therefore, I can't know what I'm doing. But you might be able to hear the rain today. There's a whole bunch of stuff. This place is the noises inside the caravan. I will do a tour of the caravan at some point. If I'm going to go down the route of shaming myself about the way I look physically, I should probably do a video highlighting the way that I'm living at the moment. Because the way that I'm living at the moment draws odd parallels with the way that I'm feeling, but it also draws odd parallels about my outlook in the world, because I don't think, even the way with the caravan is at the moment, it's almost luxury compared to the ways that I've lived at other times, where I felt incredibly grateful that I was living those other times while I was traveling and things like that. When I was living in different countries, some of the places that I lived, lordy lordy, but I felt grateful to be living in those places because of where I was at the time. Yet I don't feel grateful to be living in this place, which is arguably, by the majority of standards, better than some of those places. Yet because of where this place is and the situation I'm in, this feels infinitely worse than those situations. That's a topic for another video. I don't know what this video is about. I guess it's to highlight the struggle. It's to highlight the oddity of some of the things that I've been watching. That combination of AI commentary videos coupled with finding purpose in life and getting on with doing the thing type videos, because those finding purpose in life videos, a lot of those have also been how having a YouTube channel with less than 500 subscribers changed my life. Now those videos are for likes and clicks and hoping and praying that their video is going to blow up. That's not what I'm trying to do here, but still, it's a kind of video that's trying to tap in to this lost feeling and a lack of worth that a lot of people seem to be feeling. There's no point in me starting a YouTube channel because it's so saturated and it's so hard to get subscribers. I don't subscribe to that. I don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. And then on top of those two types of videos, there's this video of people of my, it's not just men saying that from all walks of life. But there are not as many women there are not as many women crossing my feed in their middle ages talking about this lack of worth and purpose. Now, I have some opinions on why that might be, that are too much to go into in this video, so I won't cover them here. It's just to say that I don't really know where the channel's going at the moment. I think I know where it's going to end up. I think it's going to end up as a channel about me making projects and me moving forward. But in these early days, it's going to be a real mix of me coming to terms with where I'm at and what I do to try and change that, and how I try and turn my life around, and also the things that I am that are coming into my own sphere that affect that roller coaster, if you like, that I'm going through, as much as they're going to be about any projects that I'm trying to do. Because when it comes to doing the projects, I've got to make videos in a very different way. I'm going to have to figure out how to film my table and what I'm doing on my table and what I'm trying. Even some of the gameplay videos that I want to do, these solo role-playing, solo tabletop gaming videos that I want to make, I've got to figure out how I'm going to do that. But in the meantime, I can make these kinds of videos while I get used to talking to the camera and editing them down. Now, the last video I didn't edit. I filmed it. There were no cuts. This video, there'll be very few cuts, but I am going to cut them, at least to cut out the silences and the just to bring the length of the video down a bit. I don't know if this video has got a point. Feels like I've lost the point if there was one. I did just want to comment on the oddness of my YouTube feed and some of these videos that were made. But I feel like those videos, especially this AI is destroying the internet, and then Asmongold's reaction to that video, it feels like that combination needs a reaction. But Asmongold's video is an hour and a half long, and I don't want to make an hour and a half's worth of me commenting on Asmongold's video. Plus, I don't want this channel to turn into some sort of weird commentary channel by an old man. But I start referring to myself that way. I don't want this channel to turn into a commentary video. My age doesn't matter about whether I'm making commentary videos or not. I just don't want to do commentary videos where, hey, here's a little screen of me and there's just a video of somebody else's playing in the background while they're commenting on somebody else's video playing in the background, and I just talk about how I feel about that. I'd rather just leave a link to the video and then break down some points, some timestamps in that video where I can tell you how I feel about what was said. Only if it relates to what I'm trying to do. That's another thing. Part of some of the videos going forward are going to be me talking about how I want to approach certain things, both my projects, but also how I want to approach YouTube, how I want to approach a Patreon, which I'm going to have at some point if what I'm trying to do here is turn around my career, which in itself dictates that I am trying to turn around the ways that I make money. So there will have to be a Patreon at some point, but that Patreon has got nothing to do with the YouTube channel. Other than the fact that they're connected, the Patreon is to do with the products that I'm trying to make, not this content, but the products, my comics and the games that I'm trying to make, and all of those things that I was meant to talk about today. I'll talk about in another video. So yes, I don't know what the next video will be. The next video will probably be a more concise version of the projects video. It probably will. I can't see there being, I don't want to get stuck in a loop of me just coming on here and saying, well, I saw these videos this weekend. They talked about this and it made me feel this way. Basically, that's a commentary video without the actual insight of an actual commentary video. It's me just very loosely waffling about, I watched some videos this week. Oh, wow. Great. So I'm going to leave this video here, and it is going to be the video for this week, as is evident by the fact that you're watching it. So I'm going to end these videos, like I said last week's video, in the way that I start these videos, which is, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the video. My name's Neil, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm getting a clearer picture of what I'm trying to do. All right, thanks for watching. Till the next one. Cheers. Bye.